Hello, everyone. This is the first day of summertime. So now, here, New York to in Japan has a 13 hours of difference until first week of November. Usually, like New York City Marathon starts on first Sunday of November. That's the time the winter time come in. So this is first week of March, and I just did my the seminar on the change of the summertime. So some people emailed me like, I missed it. I overslept and sorry. So, but don't worry. I do have an archive to send all those people. So anyway, today I have a very exciting guest. Dr. Doreen Donning is here in the house. She is a psychologist, mindfulness teacher, author, and a host of the podcast called Find Your Voice and Change Your Life. Find Your Voice, Change Your Life podcast. Yes. So I would like to introduce you to Dr. Doreen here. Hello, Dr. Doreen. How are you?
I'm really excited. It's a Sunday afternoon, and I put some makeup on and just showed up. And thank you for the invitation to join you live this afternoon.
Thank you. You are in California.
Yes, just north of San Francisco, right outside my window, are redwoods, a redwood forest, and beautiful mountains and streams. I love nature.
Oh, love it. You know, I used to live in Monterey, California. So during summertime and wintertime in New York, always miss California weather. Southern
Yes,
California, Northern California, beautiful. Thank you for
yes.
joining.
It's bright sun today, and after our talk, I'm going to go out for a walk.
Nice. Oh, yes. All right. So most of the people in my network don't know who Dr. Doreen Donning is. So would you like to introduce yourself, please?
Oh, yes, I'm a psychologist. Some of what you said before, but I've been a psychologist like for over 40 years. And what drew me to psychology is my total fascination of what goes on inside of us, inside of our psyche, inside of our hearts, inside of our souls, and what happens that we aren't able to live more fully, that we aren't able to live and express ourselves. So I think that beginning of just that curiosity and that fascination drew me to psychology. That's one thing that drew me to it. I would say the other thing that drew me to it was having more of a dysfunctional, no, they call it a dysfunctional early life, where I had to figure out a lot of things out by myself.
Like what?
Well, that's a good story here. Uh, because I'm more quiet and shy and introverted, and that's who I work with, and I help people find their voice. When I was 5 years old, mom was in and out of the hospital for severe depression, and my grandmother took care of my sister and me. And she would tell us, be quiet or your mom's going to go back into the hospital. Whew. So that was an early example of, I think, what you do is put tape over your mouth and say, I better not out there, I better not be expressive because somebody's going to suffer. So I traced when I was at my own difficulty in speaking up in public, I traced it back to a very, very early root like that. And once I found that, I went, oh, no wonder that little girl way back then had to shut up and not fully learn how to be who she wanted to be early on in life. And I think in the way that I practice psychology and that I work with people, I'm doing this kind of journey is that people end up later in life feeling like they aren't that confident. But I think confidence starts really, really early. Like what I've just told you. It's like, oh, world, here I am. And people are going, yay. But that didn't happen. And I think that counts for some of maybe why I later on in my life found it difficult to be in front of people, give a presentation at a group, and feel like I was very terrified.
Wow. A lot of people can relate to that, I guess. I was in Japan, and then that young woman should not be outspoken so much, and you gotta be quiet and just nodding everything, like the man said or the teacher said.
Oh, yes. Oh, thank you for sharing that, because part of this workshop that I'll be doing in actually a couple of days, this Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I do a workshop, and it's an hour each day. But one of the sections is, so what is causing, or what did cause public speaking anxiety? And you just pointed to one, which is cultural influences. We grow up within a certain culture that gives us messages and what we're supposed to be, what we're supposed to do, how we're supposed to act. And you just said, yeah, in your culture, that's true. That was true. I don't know nowadays if it still is, but there you go.
Right. So for Asian people, the looking at American culture, you are very much learn at the school to debate. So speaking is usually considered is a good thing, and debating is a good thing. The here Asian culture, we need to be quiet at the classroom, not to talk back to the teacher or ask a question during the teacher's talking, while teacher's talking, or and the debating was not something we're not used to. So speaking in public is most people get so intimidated and seek. We got to say something right.
Yes, it's
Right.
like a habit, isn't it? I mean, that's what you did over and over and over, day after day, week after week in school. And even in the United States, that's true also, is that um, it may seem like you're more encouraged to speak up, but uh, I would say that for those of us who are more introverted, yeah, other people in the class are more expressed. So why you kind of have to compete with other people who are more extroverted. So for those of us who are more quiet, we just kind of hold ourselves back. And so how that shows up later in life in, say, work meetings, other people are going to say it better. That's what we think. They're going to jump in quicker than we can. So they get seen and heard, and they get promoted because they've got a certain kind of comfort, able to step into the center of attention, the spotlight, we say. But I would say some of what you're talking about culturally applies to some of us in the United States who feel more reluctant to step up and be seen and be heard.
So it seems like your seminar is for people who are not only the public speaker or just the leaders, but anyone who has a voice within them to express.
Yes, I love how you're picking out the key part of what I teach, and this is about the idea that we think public speaking has to be with a microphone on a stage in front of a large audience, and we're supposed to prance around, we're supposed to have what I'm doing gestures, we're supposed to have vocal variety and all those kind of performance techniques. But there are many, many people who don't want to be a performer, don't want to be on a literal stage. They just want to be able to raise your hand in a meeting, be comfortable speaking up. That's one arena. And then also in personal relationships, to be able to say to somebody, put your hand on your heart and just say, I really care about you. Or if you're upset, to be able to say, ooh, what you said bothered me. To be able to say these things that happen inside of you, the truth of what's going on. And one of the things that you mentioned today in your workshop was awareness, how important awareness is. And I would say that those techniques, those mindfulness techniques of becoming more aware of our own feelings, our own thoughts, our own sensations, is the way we learn to navigate this, our bodies when it gets kind of too and too nervous, too anxious, and we feel hijacked by fear. If we know it's starting to come on, there are techniques to take a full, quiet, easy breath and drop down. My voice is even dropping down right now, and I'm feeling my energy coming closer to the center of what I am, center of this now moment. Feels good to arrive.
I see. Wow. That's it. It's really good seminar. I can see already.
Thank you. The
Yeah.
first day we talk about the problem, and that's where I go into a lot of what happens for people around their throat tightening, the heart going really fast, or feeling like you lose your train of thought, and feeling like you're a failure, and then all these what ifs. What if people walk out? What if people I'm not good enough? All those what ifs is part of the problem. And then we go into the root cause, telling stories like what I told you about my mom. And then the solution. On the third day, we went to the solution, how to replace fear with courageous confidence. And I have tools, techniques, tips, and exercises I'll be doing in the class.
Wow. It seems very, very valuable. So is this based on your experience somehow too? Like you can support them because you had some personal experience for the frightened or?
Yes. Yeah, I did. And this happens to a lot of people who find themselves in professional situations where they don't want to admit that they have public speaking anxiety. I had a PhD. I mean, I still do. I had a PhD in psychology, and I had a successful private practice. I was comfortable just one-on-one. But put me in a group, even a small group, when you start to go around, all you do is say hi and what your name was, my heart would beat so fast, it would make my ears ring because the sound, throbbing that rises up. So I would say, yes, I had terrible stage fright, and I know what it's like. It's not something that I studied. It's something that I've experienced in my life. And with the turning point, I know you talked about your turning point this morning, but the turning point was when somebody asked me to speak up at a conference. And, I admitted finally, I can't. And she said, but doctor, isn't fear your business? So that was kind of a confrontation, and it made me realize, wow, if I want to really share some of the research I've been doing, I need to be able to get out there and not be afraid to speak. And even in small groups, to be able to say, hello, I'm Dr. Dan. If that was too scary for me, I had a pretty limited life, right? So I would say, yes, definitely. I suffered and I took a class. And that's what I'm offering people too, is that's where you've got to start, is somebody who's been there, somebody who knows the journey, somebody who's designed a new kind of way of dissolving fear. My approach is not do the thing and feel the fear anyway, feel the fear and do it anyway. Nah, that didn't work for me. I just needed to be able to move through fear in a more gentle way, that I could reach a core strength, which is always, that's where my voice comes from, a core strength with me. And that's what I teach. So yes, my journey was one that I had fear, severe stage fright. I took a class. I got inspired. I found my own path, and this path is working for many, many people. I've been working with hundreds of people. I've done classes in the last 10, 12 years.
What a precious seminar will be, your experience, your tools and knowledges and everything is contributed to this 3-day seminar next week.
Yeah, I would say that if we don't have too much more time, I wouldn't want to say what changed. The kind of aha moment for me was in that first class that you talked about, Michelangelo, who saw the angel in the marble and set it free. And it wasn't about, getting rid of fear. For me, what's inside of people is what I want to bring out. I have a gift in seeing what's inside of people because of the work that I've done, and my intuitive sense of what the superpower is, what the beauty, what the brilliance is. So this idea that you have an angel in all these, fear is crusted, but it's protecting you, and yet there's freedom, and I want to help free people.
Wow, great. So, ladies and gentlemen, please do not give up. Communication is a skill you can earn, and don't give up. Even though you're shy, introverted, still, you have a tool, you have a supporter, you have a coach, that when you find your voice and you're able to speak with someone else or loved one comfortably, the life is going to change, right, Dr. Doreen? So that's what they can learn for this 3-day seminars. And it's free.
Yes, that's true.
Right?
The 3 days are free, and it's a way to get to know me and my approach and my tools and techniques, and it leads to a 3-month training that I'll be starting April, so people can get a taste of it. And if they want to join me and have me guide them all the way to fully being able to be confident, I say courageously confident in all areas of their life, doing that in April, starting my 3-month program.
Wonderful. So you can taste that very good dishes, like the sea. If you want really jump before you jump in, you can see Dr. Doreen how she teaches, and if it's a good fit with you, and that's what you want to learn and want to change a life, and go for it, everyone. That sounds really good. So 12 to 1 Pacific time on March 11th to 13th. Find your voice.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Pacific time to 1. And we'll have a link in the comments, I suppose, so that they can sign up. There isn't a lot of room. It's almost out, actually. So it's exciting that people are finding it and signing up.
Sounds really exciting. Thank you so much, Dr. Doreen. So the application or the how to apply is in my comments too. So please apply now because it's starting next week. You know,
Yes.
from March 11th, Tuesday, from Tuesday to Thursday, 11th to 13 Pacific time,
Yes.
12 to
Pacific time.
1, which is Eastern time, 3 p.m. to 4 p.m., everyone. All right. Thank you,
All right.
Dr. Doreen. It was very nice meeting you and talking to you. Good luck on your great seminar next week.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for giving me the space and your curiosity and your great comments.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.